We've done it, Mariners fans. The regular season is upon us. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Sogcast. I'm Patrick.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Garrett.
It's finally over. Spring training has ended. We are in the regular season. Every single game matters.
Finally, dude.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too.
Best time of year.
We're already 2-1. Meanwhile, the Astros are 0-3, so that's a great start to a season.
The Astros thing really has me dying too, because they're at home against the Yankees. And Astros and Yankees have beef like Mariners and Astros have beef. So for the fact that the Astros have dropped 3 straight at home against the Yankees, I mean, it's not like
we don't love the Yankees.
But damn.
But also, this isn't the early 2000s. We don't have the rivalry we used to, you know?
Yeah.
And we always kind of seemed like the little brother in that rivalry anyway.
Except for 95, but
yeah,
that was a long time ago. Mariners are off to a hot start. Opening day, I was there. It was my 32nd consecutive opening day.
Happy anniversary,
dude.
Patrick.
Yeah, happy anniversary.
I've been to more opening days than years I've been alive, because my first opening day, I was born in November. Opening day was in March or April at that time in 1992. I was just a little baby. I was there, and I've been at every one since. So keeping the streak alive. I'm excited about that.
Basically an honorary Mariner at this point.
Sign me up. Sign me with a 1-day contract. I'll retire as a Mariner.
Hey, speaking of, let's talk about opening day. Starting with the ceremony, not even the ball game yet.
So I was there, obviously, at the stadium, and one thing that was really embarrassing is that the crowd was pretty dead, honestly. Like, to even kick it off, and the Mariners, like, hype guy, like, the dude on the Jumbotron, like, you know, yeah, he's like a Mariners hype guy. They were, like, begging for fan interaction. They were like, come on, Seattle, let's get pumped up. And it was dead. I mean, I don't give a shit. I was standing up, I was screaming, I was dancing and all this stuff. And like there was a handful of people up, and then in the 100 level, there was definitely more crowd participation and people standing up and stuff. But the 300 level was, I don't know, people just weren't standing up, weren't cheering, and they asked no less than 7 times for the fans to bring the energy and to pump it up, and it just wasn't happening. And it was kind of rough. It was
Honestly, that happened at the home run derby too, where like the MC was trying to pump everyone up, and everyone was just kind of like, "Oh, we're good," just like watching.
Put the show on. Let's go.
I think it's just our vibe, but we're not like huge boisterous fans up here. Some of us are, but generally we're pretty mellow.
I wonder if it's the 100 level people who are, ready to watch the game, and then 300 level is more like, I waited 40 minutes for my hot dog. How long did you wait for your hot dog? And so, okay.
Yeah, like I don't know what it is, but it did bother me. Like, for example, there was 2 guys in particular that were sitting a couple rows in front of me, and they were decked out head to toe in Mariners gear. One dude had a really cool like Mariners like bomber jacket. The other guy was rocking an Edgar Martinez jersey. And they did not stand up or clap once. They didn't clap or cheer for any of the introductions. They didn't clap when Nelson Cruz came out to throw the first pitch to Felix Hernandez, and I was losing my mind. I knew Nelson Cruz was throwing out the first pitch, but I didn't know Felix Hernandez was going to be the one to catch it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. Well,
did
kind
he
of
catch it.
he kind of caught it. It was on the transfer.
Right, yeah, I lost it on the transfer for sure.
But yeah, I don't know. It seems like on opening day there's a lot of people that are there just because and don't really care as much for the actual, like, I don't know, the ceremony.
Reminds me of like those guys decked out in Mariners stuff that weren't that stoked. It's like the dude who shows up at like fully decked out as a stormtrooper on like a Star Wars movie. It's like he's there as a prop, kind of. He's not sitting in the theater like, yeah, Star Wars. He's like a a mascot kind of.
Yeah, well, everyone has their own level of fandom
Yeah.
and reason to be there, I guess. You know, it's fun just to be at opening day for sure, even if you're not a diehard Mariners fan. It's fun to get decked out in your gear and go support your local team, regardless of how extensive your knowledge is about what's going on or who's who. And maybe they don't even really remember Nelson Cruz, but they like to look cool at the Mariners game. And that's fine, whatever. It's opening day, and it's packed. And you would hope that the vibe would be strong, but that's okay.
That's true. I hate to
Nelson
rag on
Cruz-
somebody's level of fandom.
I mean,
Hey,
different
man, you're at
strokes for
the
different
game.
folks, but
Yeah.
I definitely felt like I was a lone wolf out there, like cheering for the team, and just like no one else around me really was. Actually, the dude sitting directly next to me he was an older gentleman, but he clapped for everything and stuff. There were people. I don't want to give off the impression that it was a completely dead crowd, but it definitely was not as alive as it probably should have been. But anyways, enough of the crowd stuff. Big news again before the game even started. Nelson Cruz signed a one-day contract to retire as a Seattle Mariner, and honestly, that took me by surprise. He has been on numerous teams. He's bounced around the league a little bit. He had an 8-year career in Texas. He was only on the Mariners for 4 years. So when they made that announcement, I lost my mind. I was incredibly excited. We love Nelly here, but I was just surprised that he took to the Mariners so much that that's how he chose to retire. I thought that was really, really cool and surprising.
He's such a lovable guy, and by the time he got to the Mariners, he had already been in the league for a long time and become a lovable character. And we really loved Nelly here. I don't know, he was special. Him and Robinson Cano were a good duo for a while, but there was obviously a lot more love for one of the two guys, and that's Nelson Cruz. And I'm so happy he decided to do that. That's special, man. Only 4 years. That was a long 4 years. I just want to say
It felt longer than that, yeah. When you told me earlier today that he had a 4-year stint with the Mariners, I was like, I would have guessed 5 or 6 at least.
Yeah.
But no.
But hey, Nelson
Also,
Cruz.
kind
He's
of
the
a
man.
kind of a funny thing about that. I wonder if they'll change the rules. So the Mariners, the team themselves, have a rule that you have to be on the team for at least 5 years to be in the Mariners Hall of Fame. So, for example, Mike Cameron was on the team for 4 years and also did the same thing. He signed a one-day contract to retire as a Seattle Mariner. He is not in the Mariners Hall of Fame, and he damn well should be. And back when I had Twitter and Mike Cameron followed me, and we would chat from time to time, I told him that he should be in the Mariners Hall of Fame, and that's when he told me about the rule, like, hey, you know, you have to be on the team for 5 years.
I didn't make the threshold. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wonder. I mean, honestly, if they change the rules for Nelson Cruz, they should change it for Mike Cameron. And I fully believe that both of them should be in the Mariners Hall of Fame. It was a short time here, but their impact cannot be understated or overstated. They were phenomenal here. They had a great impact on the team, on the fans, and put them in the damn Mariners Hall of Fame. They both deserve it.
For sure.
Well, going on to the actual game.
The first game, opening day.
Opening day.
Luis Castillo.
Castillo on the bump.
And he did what we warned against, giving up home runs. That's what killed him that game. The Mariners did lose opening day 6-4.
First
And
time since like 2016 we lost an opening day.
They also did a graphic that the Mariners had in like the last 20 years. They had only lost like 3 opening days or something like that. They were 17-3 in the last 20 years.
We crush on opening day, and they didn't play bad.
No, there were a few mistakes
Couple
that
of mistakes.
we'll get into.
A little bit sloppy sometimes here and there. And even Luis Castillo early in the game, he was pitching pretty well, but it seemed like the umpire was squeezing him a little bit, huh? Like the low pitches especially, the ones right at the knees or right at the lower register. We weren't getting those calls, but he was calling the ball off the plate to lefties, but not calling the low pitch. And especially early, it took the umpire a minute to start getting more consistent. So early in the game, Castillo had some pitches that definitely looked like strikes and put him behind in counts, which led to a high pitch count, led to hitters counts 2-1, 3-1, 2-0. Like the hitters were more aggressive because he had to get the ball up in the zone, and they knew what was like how to approach what was coming. And it is tough to see that because we saw him do that a lot last year, drive up his pitch count early and then give up a home run because he leaves it up in the zone. And sometimes a 3-run home run, multiple runs, and it hurts a lot. Then he doesn't get deep in the game, and our bullpen has to pick it up, and we have to go from there. And it's tough to see that. We want Castillo to be dominant, and he will have those days where he strikes out 10 or 12 guys. So I'm just looking forward to the future. He looked really good and healthy, so I'm happy he went out there and did his thing and didn't get hurt,
Scary
bad.
comeback is, yeah. Avoided that, not mistake, that disaster, potential disaster. But you're right. The ump was squeezing him. I don't know if that's the right term. The ump was dookie that day. Larry Vanover. Shout out Larry Vanover.
We saw your ump scorecard on Instagram, bro.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to ump scorecards, dude.
Also, anyone that uses social media, Instagram or Twitter, follow Ump Scorecard. It is an amazing account. They do a full breakdown of every umpire from every home plate umpire from every game, every day. And they show where they missed their calls, what calls were the biggest missed, and all this stuff.
And impactful calls, which ones made a difference in the game.
Yes, it is a very great account.
It's awesome.
Go follow them. One thing that really bothered me about the ump zone is J.P. Crawford in the first inning, leadoff hitter, bottom of the first on opening day. He worked a walk on a 3-1 pitch. It was way below the zone, and he should have led off that game with a walk. Instead, the ump called it a strike. Then on a 3-2 pitch, JP ended up grounding out. And, it's little things like that. And honestly, it's not the umpire why we lost that game.
No.
But that's a run right there that the Mariners should have had in the bottom of the first because...
Yeah, it puts JP in a tough spot. He dropped the bat on 3-1 too, I'm going to first, and nope, he has to. Yeah, and he grounded out, and that's tough, man. JP's doing what he does. He's working a count, being patient, and he kind of got screwed there. And we don't want that to keep happening over and over again. And it sucks when that's the first thing that happens because that's Super Mariners, But either way, it worked out. Mitch Haniger hit a 2-run home run somewhere in the middle of that game, and welcome home, Mitch Haniger.
I actually called that home run too. I was like, because Devers had already hit his home run at that point. And
he's so nasty.
The Devers home run off of Castillo was absolutely launched. As soon as that left the bat, that was a no-doubter. And when Mitch Haniger came up, I think it was the bottom of that inning, if not the following inning, and I was like, Marine Lair be damned, Haniger's going to launch one. And sure enough, boom, right into the right field stands.
Yes, dude.
And
Oppo Taco.
Haniger is already making an impact every single game. He is already making an impact. I'm so happy that he's back. This is huge for the team.
Dude, I almost teared up a little bit when they announced, Mitch Haniger his first at bat, and they got all super loud, and I was like, yeah, our boy's home. I was feeling it with everyone at the stadium. I heard it was kind of a roar, it was cool.
You're saying earlier that we're kind of a downer crowd up here in the PNW.
Well, we love our guys, though.
And I was going to say, but we love our guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also kind of funny, just like with the crowd thing. I was recently at the Alkaline Trio show, and the crowd was kind of like dead there, too. I think it's just a Seattle thing. You're just like...
Comedians don't like Seattle crowds, but it's also because we don't have a good club up here. But
there's one in Spokane. We just don't get to go because we're on the right side of the mountains.
Yeah, Seattle has a weird crowd sometimes, but
I feel it, dude. I get it,
but we do cheer for our guys.
There are passionate people in Seattle for sure. We get behind our boys,
and we do cheer for the guys. And Haniger's ovation was loud. The whole stadium was shaking. And then, when he hit his home run, it was super loud in there. Other Mitch Garver, got his first hit in T-Mobile. He was
Yeah.
0 for 35
At T-Mobile.
at T-Mobile.
Whoa.
So in his time with the Rangers, when he was playing against the Mariners, he did not have a hit in our ballpark. He was 0 for 35, and he was up to 0 for 36 or 37 when he finally got his hit. A nice double down the left field line, and then he got hurt from doing that.
Oh, it's just back spasms. He'll be all right.
Yeah, he's day to day with back spasms after opening day, but we'll see. He'll be fine. He'll be in the lineup a lot, but until then, we have other guys to plug in at DH and move around. Dylan Moore, our boy, hit a 2-run home run too.
Wasn't expecting that. We forgot this year to predict who would hit the first home run for the team.
Yeah.
But I definitely didn't expect it to be Dylan Moore.
Well, Haniger hit the first,
I know,
but Demo.
I didn't even put him in the top 5.
Yeah.
That was a sick pinch hit home run for Dylan. He came in and pinch hit for Canzone later in the game. Canzone being the lefty, and then Dylan Moore, he came in and hit that 2-run bomb.
Also, there's another reason why he was pinch hitting in that situation, and it wasn't the
There
handed
could be another
matchup.
reason.
It was because Canzone, this play infuriated me. He was straight hot dogging it out there. There was a ball hit to the left field corner, slow roller into the corner. Canzone stood there and watched it slowly roll to him. He had his back to the field, so he's facing the corner. His back is to the infield, and he watches the ball slowly roll, then takes his time grabbing it, turns, realizes that the runner isn't hot dogging it. The runner is sprinting around second. He tries to rush a throw to third base, and just honestly, it was a sloppy play. The runner ended up getting a triple out of it.
Yeah, Rafaela, their center fielder, he's really fast, and he came around second base looking to take that extra bag. And like you're saying, Canzone just put it in autopilot mode and thought, okay, that's an automatic
that's a
double.
double,
He's
yeah.
going to just run to second base and do his little cool thing, you know. But no, Canzone has to learn from that real quick.
And Canzone is a young dude. It's only his second year, but you can't make those mistakes. You can't be out there hot dogging. I can let a lot of things slide, but when people are out there hot dogging, that drives me crazy. And it worked out for Dylan Moore because they pulled Canzone from the game after that mistake, which also I really like Scott doing. That was a good call on his part. You know, yeah, Canzone, you're the starter, but we're not going to have this laziness on this team.
And the matchup was good when it was time to pinch hit Dylan Moore. So it worked out for the best in both positions. And Dylan Moore is always good in the field. I realize that even though he's a bench player, he is a Swiss Army knife, and you can put him anywhere in the field, and he's going to get it done. And I trust
his
him.
job.
Yeah, it's
And
great.
he does it well.
He does. 2-run bomb to center.
That was clutch.
It was huge.
It put us within 1 at that point, and the Sox ended up scoring another run and making it 6-4. But Canzone was lazy on that play. He's got to learn from that real quick. I don't think we're going to see that be a problem in the future. I think he'll make that adjustment real fast because there are other players we can put out there. There are people knocking at the
knows
door
that,
for his
yeah.
spot, and he's set for a breakout year. So I don't think we're going to see much more of that. But,
Good,
I mean, Urias at third base kind of made a boneheaded play also where there were 2 outs and a runner on second base, and a ground ball is hit to him. And like the automatic play is to throw the ball to first base. But the runner from second kind of took off like straight at him.
Yeah,
So
the
he
runner
kind
on
of-
second made a base running mistake and just ran straight towards third.
Yeah,
So by the time he caught the ball, he was almost within arm's reach of
you're right.
Jared Duran.
yeah.
Jaron Duran.
Jaren. So he got confused. He's like, "Oh, do I just tag the guy or do I make the play? Make the play.
Yeah, you
Just
should-
make the dude.
Don't
Don't pay
even look
attention to
at
that
the
guy,
guy.
yeah.
Just throw the ball to first base. It's an automatic play. That's fundamental baseball. You don't like when there's less than 2 outs, you look at that runner and usually he'll stay put. But with 2 outs, the runner took off and confused Urias, and I don't like to see that. And then the runner was safe at first base. He made a first and third situation. They didn't end up scoring from that, which is lucky, but at the same time, like, the super boneheaded play. And Ty France has been saving Urias's ass, too. He's had a couple throws over there. And Ty France, even awkward mid-hop, like, has been nails over there.
Pick machine Ty France.
Pick machine, hit artist,
Plus
new
defense.
daddy, Ty France.
Gold glove candidate. Dark horse.
Also, one thing to take away from opening day, and this was on Boston's side, Tyler O'Neill
Man.
hit a home run in his 5th consecutive opening day, set a major league record. And for those that don't know, the Mariners years ago traded young prospect Tyler O'Neill for Marco
boy.
Gonzalez.
Marco, yeah.
Straight up. It was a 1-for-1 trade. And Marco is somewhere in Pittsburgh, just chilling. Well, O'Neill just set a major league record, so
Mariners,
take that.
The Mariners have been talking about getting Tyler O'Neill from the Cardinals for years too, and then we have to face him on opening day, and he just puts one out at T-Mob. Like, thanks. Like, why didn't we sign O'Neill? You know, all those opportunities to do it and all the talks, and we didn't do it, and he put one over the wall. It hurts a little bit, but not a lot.
Yeah, not a lot. But it's just kind of funny. And also props to O'Neill. Major league record under his belt.
Yeah, that
Good
is
for him.
really cool. He seemed really happy. I saw a replay, and it seemed like he was in the dugout like, fuck yeah. Like, yeah, cool.
So that was Thursday's game. Opening day, Mariners lost 6-4. Going into Friday, we had the notorious sleeper Cy Young, George Canzone,
knuckleballer, George Kirby.
George Kirby on the bump. Dominant start. He walked 2 batters.
Did you say Dominic start? You
Dominic.
still thinking about Canzone?
Canzone. You're throwing Canzone puns everywhere you can.
Dominant start. Walked 2 hitters in the first inning. He had like 20% of his total walks from last year in the first inning, and then pitched out of that jam, and then after that, completely lights out. Mariners won 1-0. Not a ton to go off of that game. JP, best Mariner, the only run in the game. Bat flip bomb to right field.
I want to say about Kirby, though, I got to give a lot of props to Cal going out there at the perfect time being like, dude, what are you doing? You're George fucking Kirby. And he's like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
I am.
Yeah. I feel like that's what he says. You're never going to know exactly what he tells his pitchers. But Cal going out there be like, dude, come on. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. Do what you do, dude.
You
Who
are
are you
you
right now? Yeah.
Play the game. And
George-
then they're like, oh, yeah, shit. Thanks, Cal. And he runs back and there
Yeah.
you go.
George is the man. He'll challenge anyone in the zone. He's better than anyone at it. He had the best strikeout to walk ratio last year in the major leagues, and he's set to do that again. He ended up walking those 2 guys in the first and didn't walk anyone else. 8 strikeouts through 6 2/3, gave up 2 hits. So 4 base runners, like the whole game. He was super dominant. And yeah, I mean, dark horse Cy Young candidate. I don't even think it's dark horse at this point. Everyone's kind of picking him. but
there's a
why
good
not?
case for Castillo that you made last week.
Oh yeah. They kind of have opposite problems.
Yeah,
like
I know.
it's cool because Castillo's a little bit more wild and pitch count heavy, and he needs to be more efficient. But George Kirby is very commanding of the zone and could use a little bit more controlled wildness, like let it fly and let it eat and see what happens.
Throw the knuckleball, George.
Yeah. He has so many weapons. It's
He does.
insane.
So yeah, Thursday, JP got the home run. Shutout, by the way.
Yeah, 1-0 win. Another interesting thing, Andres Munoz got his first chance for a save of the year. They had him do a 4-out save, which is a little risky. They had him coming in the end of the 8th and then all through the 9th.
Yeah, Kirby went through 6 2/3, and Gabe Spire came in and struck out the last batter. sent it to the 8th inning where we had Ryan Stanek come in for the first time. And he had a kind of a rough go. He had nasty stuff, but he wasn't finding the strike zone. The hitters weren't swinging at the swing and miss pitches and kind of putting him in a tough spot. But he did do okay. But by the time we got to like the 4th batter there with a couple runners on, Munoz came out and they put him in that 4-out save situation. And he looks amazing. He looks nasty. His sinker is so hard to hit. Like you heard Cal Raleigh talking about it. He's like, dude, that sinker is just so hard to hit. Like, good luck. He looks amazing, healthy. He's throwing 100 miles an hour again. His slider looks good. He's, wild but effective. Effectively wild. Right. Yes.
Another thing, Mariners struck out 14 times in that game. The Mariners have now struck out 36 times over the first 3 games, which, believe it or not, is a record for the team. That's the most strikeouts over the first 3 games in Mariners history.
The whole offseason saying,
oh, good thing we got rid of all these strikeouts.
Yep.
It doesn't matter who it is. It's a Mariners thing. Like, put anyone on our team and we'll be in the same position. It's kind of, it seems like a Mariners curse a little bit. Does that make sense?
Dude.
Yeah, no.
Does it make sense?
We strike
it
out
makes
here.
too much sense.
And also, another thing, Polanco was up with the bases loaded, and he rips one, dude, like a missile, but straight at Casas, too. It's like, dude, it doesn't matter who you plug into that situation. We're going to rip the ball, but right at someone. It's a Mariners thing. Like, I don't know. It feels like a curse sometimes, but I don't want to think that way. But it feels that way after seeing just a couple games, and things kind of just always go that way for the Mariners.
Yeah, dude, it happens.
I do have a feeling the strikeouts will tone down throughout the year, though. I truly believe that.
God willing.
I don't think we're going to have another Teoscar or Suarez situation with, 230, 200 something strikeouts in a season.
I don't see anyone striking out 200 times this year.
Yeah, like
200.
Yeah.
Cap it there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not
it?
even like an insane cap. But
I know,
We've had
Well, it was
we've had
Teoscar
so
was
many strikeouts.
Look at what we're dealing with, what we've dealt with. Yeah.
Teoscar was like 216 and Eugenio was like 208, and that was it. I mean, it's hard to strike out 200 times. You have to really be swinging and
I could
missing.
do it. I could do it easy.
Oh, I could do it. Yeah, dude, sign me up. I'll strike out 200 times a year.
Have you noticed Polanco is swinging a lot? Like, he's super aggressive up there. He kind of doesn't care if he swings and misses. He's ready for that next pitch. And I kind of like it.
Yeah, I was going to say good thing or bad thing.
Oh, right
like
now it hasn't done a lot. But,
We're 3 games in.
Yeah, but when he's hitting the ball, man.
He's hitting it hard.
Yeah, he's going to be doing damage when he's getting a hold of those. He loves to swing. He's not going to be up there working a lot of counts, but if he sees a pitch to hit, he's ready to hit it, which I like a lot because he does have a lot of pop, especially from the left side, too. I like that.
Like an old adventurous married couple, he's a swinger.
There you go.
Yeah, so Friday, not a ton to talk about, 1-0 game. There's only so much that can happen.
But
Pitcher's
today,
duel.
Saturday,
The
the
big
day we're
news.
recording this.
Saturday, what a game. You're going. Mariners had a 1-0 lead for a little bit. They tied it. The Boston tied it up, had 1-1 on a great defensive play by JP, by the way. They had the infield in with the runner on third. JP makes an excellent diving stop. He just didn't have enough time to throw home. Made the right decision. Threw to first. Got the out. It tied it 1-1. And that's how it carried all the way into the 10th inning. We went into extras tonight in the 10th.
Free baseball.
Yeah, bullpen, though, kind of fell apart. Could have been even worse. Luckily, Cal Raleigh threw out his first stealer of the year in extras.
That was huge.
That was huge.
So there was a runner on first base with I don't know, less than 2 outs, I think.
I don't think there was any outs. They had already
Yeah.
gotten the 2 runs in and runner on first, and he breaks off stealing. Cal's able to throw him out, and the very next hitter hits a double, which would have been another run if Cal hadn't thrown that dude out. So what a huge play. And, talk about helping out your pitchers. Our bullpen faltering, they're giving up runs, and Cal saves the day.
He's the
After
man.
Logan's great day, too. Just like not putting runs on the board.
Yeah.
Boys.
Help your
Logan-
pitchers
Come
out.
on.
Logan looked awesome today.
Dude.
7 innings, 1 earned run, 8 Ks, 1 walk, 4 hits. He went into the 7th, struck 2 guys out, and went clean and got the 3rd out and went 7 strong. It's great to see that Kirby's pitching into the 7th, Gilbert's pitching into the 7th. It's really cool. And JP is playing the way JP plays.
Best Mariner.
Did he bunt for a hit
He
today?
bunted the first at-bat of the game. It was awesome.
If he sees
and he got
them-
to second on a overthrown to first base.
Oh, yeah. If
And that's
he
what's
sees them
crazy-
shifting on him because he has more pop now, he's going to drop that down, man. That's awesome.
Drop it, bro.
And that's what's
Get on
awesome
base.
about JP. The day before literally hits the game-winning home run, then on Saturday leads off, lays a bunt down. You love to see it. That's just fun, good baseball.
It's
JP's
exactly.
the man. JP's the best.
Exactly why we call him Best Mariner.
He is the best Mariner.
And then on top of that, he got to second on that bunt. Mitch Haniger, situational hitting, ropes one up the middle, boom, 1-0 early lead for the Mariners.
Fundamentals.
The captains of the team, back to back, just getting it done.
Bro,
Scoring a
get
run.
on base, get base hits.
Manufacture that shit.
Runs on the board,
Get the
baby.
lead early. That's awesome.
Also, our bullpen, before they fell apart in the 10th, were really strong. Gabe the Babe Spire came in again. He's getting a lot of early season work.
He's nasty.
And he is looking dominant. His first appearance, little shaky, but no runs and nothing to be too concerned about.
2 strikeouts.
Yeah, and then today, just bring him up, bring him down. I mean, phenomenal pitching performance by Gabe the Babe. And then, was it Thornton in extras?
Well, I just want to say Voth, too, in between.
Oh, Voth had a...
He walked 1 guy, but he struck out 3 guys. So that was a nice turnover there for him to come in and turn it over to the next guy.
Hell yeah.
And so at the end of the top of the 10th, it was now 3-1. And these Mariners showing early that they're not quitting. They're not going to give up.
Bottom third of the order is what we started with in the 10th.
Yeah, we were looking at our 7, 8, and 9 guys, and they came through, got it rolling. Luke Raley got sawed off.
Yeah, so we had a runner on second base because there's an automatic runner in extra innings. Yeah, and Luke Raley absolutely got sawed off.
I mean, split his bat in half, in on his handle, and he's so strong. He muscled that out to no man's land between third base and left field, scored Ty France from second, and just like that, it's 3-2, no outs, and a runner on first.
Since they were shifting him as a lefty, that they had a long ways to go to that ball, and it just fell right in there, a few feet from the line, a little squibber.
Yes,
that was clutch.
What a great game all around.
Then Polanco came up and roped one. Roped it up the middle, too. Unfortunately, their second baseman.
Snag.
Great snag. Nothing you can do about that. But that's also what you want to see. Also, sorry, not Polanco. Urias.
Yeah, Arias.
Yeah.
Sorry, not Polanco.
Yeah, Arias ripped it up there, yeah.
Yeah, ripped it up the middle. And honestly, that...
What more can you ask for?
Exactly. No one's going to get a hit every time. And in those situations, he put the bat on the ball and he hit it hard.
Powers
ripped
it up
it.
the middle and he got snagged. What can you do?
Yeah, and a great at bat, great piece of hitting from him. It
That's
ended
baseball.
Yeah,
That's just
sure
baseball.
is.
And then, show enough, JP with the RBI single. Luke Raley hustling. And what's funny...
Rojas, dude. Before we get there, Rojas hit one into the gap.
That's right, to get Raley over to third.
Yep, Raley on third, and Rojas with a double there. So second and third with JP coming to the plate.
And they scored on the damn contact play. The play I hate so much.
The infield's in.
Which you are relentlessly dogging on.
I hate it. Never works. This time it did. Would you
Hey.
look at that? But it also helps that sneaky big guy, Luke Raley, fast as hell.
Yep.
Yeah, he's 6'4", 235. He's a big dude, and he is pretty quick. He snuck right in there at a nice straight slide straight into home plate, beat the throw, and we are set for Julio Rodriguez to come to the plate.
I was nervous.
Yeah, and now we're tied.
The game was
3-3.
tied.
Julio Rodriguez comes up.
Anti-clutch, Julio Rodriguez.
Yeah, he struck
come
out.
for me.
He struck out earlier in the game on 3 pitches.
He had a chance in the 8th inning. 8th inning, comes up, runner on, 2 outs.
Never doubted him in my life.
Struck out on 3 pitches in the 8th. It was brutal. We were in the group chat being like, come on. Sure enough, he gets his chance to redeem himself in the 10th after more great hitting by JP. JP has always set Julio up.
And Julio worked a 3-1 count, too.
And Julio ended up getting the first walk-off of his career. Right center field, JP scores, game over, Mariners win.
Beautiful, solid line drive. He wasn't trying to do too much. He put the bat on the ball nice and flat in the air. The game over. That's Julio Rodriguez. We're looking forward to way more of that. That's
a
the
hit
best.
we could have used earlier in the game, but boy, I will take it all day.
Julio's the man. That's
Julio
just
is
the
man.
beginning.
Like
Let's
I said,
go.
I've never doubted him once in my entire life.
He'll strike out, but damn, is he good.
Also, I just like setting the tone early in the season that they're not going to roll over. They're not just going to be, oh, we're down in extras, let's see what we can do. No, they came up aggressive. Everyone hitting the ball hard, running hard, doing everything they can to get that win. And these are the games right now that matter in September. Like, these are the games you have to win.
Every game matters.
How many times have you been like, okay, going into the All-Star break, like, yeah, we're less than 500, but we're coming back in August, baby. Start the season better. That's what we've been saying for years now. Just do better in the first part of the season. Also, big warning track power, Marine Layer.
Oh, yeah. We had a lot of warning track power hits in the first game on Thursday.
Opening
especially.
day, we had 3 or 4
Yeah.
warning track powers.
Gar-
It
Garver,
looked sick off the bat, too. I was
Polanco.
like, let's go. And he's there with enough room to make the catch. God damn it.
I was sitting on the kind of on the right field line up in the 300 level, and there was 2 of them that I was sure were going to clear and just right to the wall, and they get caught, and just those will be home runs in July. But
That's what I was saying too when I was watching them. I was like, yeah, no worries. In a few months, those ones are out of here.
But we need
got-
wins now for sure. I'm on board with what you're saying.
And also, I really liked that in game 3 of the season, the Mariners used situational hitting to their advantage. And like I said earlier, the first 2 games, our only runs came off of home runs. And you put that up with our high strikeout numbers, and you're like, oh shit, is this just another boom or bust season? Like, they either hit home runs or strike out. And so in game 3, it's really, really nice to see them not relying on the home run, getting the ball in play, putting it where they're not, getting them on, getting them over, getting them in. That's all you can ask for.
Game 1 was a little sloppy, and I was worried a little bit, but the intensity that the Mariners bring and the way that the Mariners were ready for all of the pitching matchups, our pitching matchups against their bench, everything, we're playing chess on a 3D chessboard now. We're not trying to do too much or be too cute. All of the replacements we're making, all of the pitching moves we're making even are very direct path. Like, there's nothing special going on. It's very like, you know what we're doing, and we're gonna counter it with this. Like, we're playing on the same level as Cora now, which is nice. We're not behind one step. Maybe we are in like pitch sequencing. We got struck out a lot. Nick Pivetta struck out 10 guys. That's not what we need to see. But we're playing on the same board now. We don't have to try to do too much or get cute to counter their moves anymore. And I like that. Just from the get-go, we know what we're going to see. We know what to expect on day one. And not like 4 months into the season with guys like LaStella and Wong on the roster and Pollock. Like, no, we have it now.
Also, I was going through like old group chats and stuff just earlier today. I forgot the Mariners had Cole Calhoun last year. I forgot about that until I was going through, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
He actually retired. So I mean, nice career, Cole Calhoun. I never really liked you that much, but
Matt was pissed when we got
he was
Cole
so
Calhoun.
mad.
He was
Matt
like,
hates Cole
"Why?
Calhoun.
It's stupid."
yeah, there's no reason to have him, man. Glad he retired. Just saying.
Also,
He had a sneaky good career, I will say, but he was around for a long time, and he was a Mariner killer. So there were times where I couldn't help but hate the guy. He just crushed us.
and 3 games into the season, the Mariners' home run leader, Mitch Haniger, tied with Dylan Moore and JP with 1. Mariners' batting average leader, Mitch Haniger with a .300 average. Mariners' run batted in leader, Mitch Haniger, 3. I mean, just the direct impact that this guy has coming back. He's truly one of the better guys in baseball if he can stay healthy. If we have a healthy season of Mitch Haniger, this team will not be stopped. Between our pitching, JP, Cal, Julio, Mitch, if a healthy Mitch is a winning ball club.
We have our little group chat, and after he hit his first home run, I was like, hell yeah, Mitch, let's go. Ready to see 35 more of those. Because last time he was here and played a full season, he hit 39 bombs, and I'm ready to see that again, man. He's our guy, and he's probably going to be the most consistent veteran. We kind of guessed who was going to do that last week, and Mitch Haniger off to a great lead so far.
He really is one of the better players in the game.
Yes.
But just stay healthy, bro.
Just stay healthy.
I saw a lot of comments saying, they're like, boys, Mitch's bat can't take it. He can't carry the team like this.
He's going to go out with back spasms from carrying the load. So we have a chance going into Sunday. No matter what, the Mariners are not going to lose the opening series. Worst comes to worst, they split. But we've got Bryce Miller on the mound tomorrow.
I'm excited. Our first 3.
Yes.
We don't have Hancock on the mound tomorrow?
No, Hancock's filling in for Wu, who would be our 5th starter. So we got Bryce Miller tomorrow.
Are you sure?
100%. Why are you unsure?
For some reason, I thought Hancock was slated to make the start Sunday, but obviously I've been proven wrong here. I don't know. Either way, I'm excited to see whoever we have pitching. But I think I'm just jumping the gun and talk about Emerson Hancock since Wu is out for a while.
We'll get there.
And Hancock had a great start last year and immediately went down with injury, and that was a super big bummer for us. That actually got Wu his opportunity because Hancock was going to be the guy and got hurt after his start. And I mean, my memory's foggy on this, but I think he went like 6 innings, 1 or 2 runs, whatever. Great start. And that was his debut for Emerson Hancock.
Had a shoulder strain and went down, unfortunately, because Wu did get a chance to prove himself and took a step over Hancock. And now we'll see what Hancock can do. I don't know that he has a lot of filthy pitches, but we'll see what he can put out there. I've heard his fastball is one of his best pitches, but you can't rely on only a fastball. So you have to see what kind of pitch mix he can put out there. And last year he ended up with like a 4.5 ERA, and I don't know, he did okay. He pitched like 12 innings in 3 games or something like that. And I'm excited to see what he can do because he's kind of been put on the back burner and he's filling in for Wu while he is dealing with elbow inflammation.
Yeah.
Apparently they did a MRI and there's no structural damage to his repaired UCL tendon, which is from Tommy John surgery. He's had 2 of them, I'm pretty sure. So we're worried about Wu, but he should be back soonish.
Yeah, he's fine enough. He's not out for the season or anything.
There's good news, and hopefully he'll get on a throwing schedule soon, and Hancock only needs to fill in for a few starts until he can get back. It just does make me think, like, it would have been nice for the Mariners to go get a guy like Jordan Montgomery or Blake Snell just to push one of those guys to our already stacked bullpen.
Yeah, but that costs money.
And get Cody Bolton out of here. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to throw shade this early, but
Bolton had a nice appearance the other night.
I'm just thinking about things and who we would push out of there. But yeah, Bolton did okay.
He's fine.
Okay.
Anyway,
yeah,
I'm excited for Bryce Miller.
Me too. Bryce Miller, we'll see what kind of secondary stuff he's been working on. He relied on his fastball heavily last year, and it played. He had one of the best fastballs when he made his debut. It was Bryce Miller against the other Miller. There's another Miller on the A's. It was Miller versus Miller, and they both had great starts, and it was strikeout after strikeout on both sides, and it was fun to see. But we'll see what kind of stuff he's developed. We'll see if he's developed a good, maybe a cutter or sinker. If his slider plays, if he's trying to do a sweeper now, a lot of guys have to work on that sweeper to help with their pitch mix. And I'm excited. That kid looks like he's ready to go.
Definitely. And you hear a lot about pitchers developing a cutter or something in spring training. Just another pitch to throw in there.
Even Logan Gilbert.
Yeah, Gilbert's got the cutter. A couple of his pitches tonight were labeled a knuckle curve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's always had the knuckle curve.
I know.
I like that he's working the cutter because he's a 4-seam slider kind of guy, and it's a nice in between pitch, and he can work the sequencing really well that way. But his sinker wasn't great, so he can move towards the cutter, and I'm hoping Bryce Miller kind of does that too because he's a 4-seam slider kind of guy. I hope he works that cutter too.
I'm excited to see Bryce Miller because I haven't heard a ton from him out of spring training.
That's true.
And coming in just ready to eat, baby.
Yeah, if we haven't heard anything, that means he's been healthy and ready. So
this is a good thing.
Yeah, and he's young, and I think he can be a horse. I think he can pitch a lot of innings if we need him to. If he's efficient with his pitches, he can get deep into a ball game just like Gilbert or Kirby.
Yo, were any of you guys surprised that Kirby was the day 2 starter and not Logan? That, not saying, I mean, it kind of makes sense, but I just figured with the veteran presence and stuff, and with the time that Logan has spent with the team, and the fact that he's also a dominant pitcher, I totally assumed that he would get the day 2 start.
I know what you mean. I kind of felt that too. I was like, okay, who's our pitchers? We got Castillo, we got Logan, we got Kirby. That's how I think about it in my head.
Right.
But when it was Kirby, I was like, yeah, that's fine too. Like I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
I think last year I was thinking this too, and you guys were putting Kirby kind of leapfrogged Gilbert last year as our number 3 to number 2 starter, if we're ranking them in order of like who's the best, I guess.
Of dopeness?
But they're going
scale?
on the dopeness scale.
Yeah, he did. He's younger. He's so commanding. But I mean, Logan's so rad.
Yeah, and I used to think this way too. I was like, yeah, it's Castillo, it's Gilbert, and then it's Kirby. But Kirby did kind of leapfrog him there. And that's okay. I mean, I think they've both been around the same amount of time. Like Gilbert was around maybe 1 year before Kirby, but they're on the scene together. They're teammates. I don't think they worry about who's number 2 or 3 because they both are ace level pitchers.
I remember what I was going to say a second ago. I'm excited to play a 4-game series against the Red Sox because I want everyone to see our starting 4 pitchers.
Yeah.
And so that's another reason why I'm really excited to see Bryce Miller tomorrow.
I'm worried that if we're struggling offensively against the Red Sox, that when we see more dominant pitching, we're going to have trouble. But
That is a worry.
it's just
3 games,
It's
bro.
the first series. I'm just excited that baseball is being played and we have so much to talk about.
I know a lot of emotions in the first week.
The boys look ready. Like I was saying, there's such a good path already from the get-go. Our roster looks good. We have guys ready to go, whether or if someone gets injured or someone really is struggling. We have guys with options. We have veteran presence. It's really good. The vibes are good. I think things feel awesome despite the interviews from Paul Sylvie and King 5 with John Stanton kind of dampening the whole entire mood right before opening day. Now, I don't really want to talk about it too much.
I don't want to fucking talk about it.
I mean, we'll inform our fans.
Yeah, we have
John
to.
Stanton
As
is a
far-
cheap bastard.
Yes, as far as it is my job to watch those kinds of things and relay the information, I couldn't fucking do it. I dipped out after 5 minutes of listening to that fucking guy talk. I hate him.
Also, he had DePoto there as kind of just being the lackey and like taking the fall, and DePoto just like doing what he can to.
Oh, with the circumstances available that you set in place, John Stanton, you sack of shit.
Look, John Stanton sat there and got a whole bunch of softball questions from Paul Sylvie that he was ready to answer.
He has big
He
PR
said a
moves.
Whole
It's
bunch
garbage.
of dumb, PR politics bullshit to try to cover his ass and try to tell people that don't pay that much attention what they want to hear, that they think that they were going to be in the playoffs. They're trying to win. But no, dude, we're sitting like $60 to $80 million under the threshold where that luxury tax kicks in. We have so much payroll. We easily could have added a big player, like we could have traded for someone like Juan Soto and tried to extend him. We have the room to do that. The whole Root Sports deal is the biggest excuse that I've ever heard. Things are going to change, man. Like over time, there's going to become streaming services available that is going to work out. Like that's all business that shouldn't be tied into payroll, the team payroll. And John Stanton threw our boys under the bus, and it gives me so much more respect for Hollander and DePoto, what they have to do under their restrictions. They're so creative, and they brought in what they could to make this team good. They want to win. John Stanton is bullshit. He doesn't want to win. He's old. He doesn't care. The whole ownership group should be pushed to open their damn checkbook and spend $60 million. Like, we can get up to $200 million in payroll and have a sick team. We could go get a Snell. We can go get a Montgomery. Montgomery ended up signing a 1-year deal. Chapman, short deals. All these Boris clients, even though Boris clients drive up the price, we could have easily went and got those guys to shore up another question mark on our team and make it more solid than it ever has been. If this is our window, then let's fucking go for it. Fuck John Stanton. I don't want to hear any of those interviews again.
What's funny to me is that I've made my peace and I've accepted that the Mariners aren't going to be the big spenders, and I really like what DePoto has done with the team given the circumstances. But then for Stanton to come and then just rub our nose in it and just be like, well, it's hard to run a business. It's yeah, how much did you invest in that Root deal that fell through? How's that Hatback, that dead warehouse that you spent all the money on, or the new and improved Diamond Club
that we're never gonna go see a game in?
Hatback is, if any of you guys have not been to Hatback, it is across the street from the stadium. It is a wide open warehouse with one tiny bar at one end, and then literally a football field away is a giant TV, and the rest of it is a giant empty space. Also, this is just a kind of weird thing. You can't buy beer. Like, you can't just give them money to buy a beer at this bar. You have to go outside and buy tickets. And then you have to give those tickets to the bartender. It's
What
just
is that?
I swear to God. I swear, I've been there twice. Once before the Taylor Swift concert and then once after a Mariners game.
That sounds absolutely dreadful.
It's so you have to line up outside to buy tickets that you then, and they're literally like family fun center, like Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah. This is how arcades and beer festivals are run.
Yeah, and
is
you
pay with tokens.
and then you take those tickets and you go to this. It's comically small bar. It has 2 registers and just like in this giant warehouse. It's so funny looking. There's just a small bar. You give them your tickets. And when I went before the Taylor Swift concert, the girls that I was with wanted to order White Claws, and they were out of White Claws. How are you going to be out of White Claws before a Taylor Swift concert?
Sounds like that business runs terribly.
Well, that's Stanton for you.
Well, I mean, I think that they hired somebody to open a business there. They just have
Who hired somebody?
They just own the property, you know what I mean? But at the same time, if they're willing to invest in properties like a parking garage or
That was
whatever,
the other guy.
a park and ride, and a brewery right across from the stadium there, then they have to be willing to invest on like our stadium was already really nice and state of the art, like very nice. Everyone loves it. Highly rated around baseball, and he has to upgrade the Diamond Club, like the lower level of the press boxes, like to make it like, no, dude, like put money on the field, because the product is what drives people to come spend money. It's so frustrating, man.
Yeah, it's extremely frustrating. All I see is people complaining about the Root Sports deal and how they can't watch baseball. And even if you do get the deal, there's all these blackout clauses or whatever the fuck it is.
Bullshit excuses.
Dude, get rid of blackouts. It's the worst thing to happen to baseball since
The White Sox scandal, the Black Sox scandal of 1919.
36. So yeah.
fuck blackouts, bro. If you're paying money to watch baseball, you should watch baseball. That's why I encourage everybody to listen to the games on the radio. Listen to Rick Riz. Listen to Dave Sims. These are my boys, and I refuse to pay any money to watch any baseball. So everything you hear from me this season will be relayed from the radio. I'm not watching anything that's not highlights.
I listen to a lot of radio at work too.
Yeah, dude.
Also, this is kind of funny, along with Hatback not having White Claws for Taylor Swift, which is literally the lifeblood of any 20-something white girl. On opening day, their value menu, which, to be fair, at the stadium, the value menu is, I think, the best deal in baseball. Stuff like ice cream sandwiches, apple slices, peanuts, popcorn, even value beers.
We're talking $10
Mariner dog.
tickets, $4 hot dog,
Yeah, so
$2 drink. Like,
the
go to
value
a
menu
game. Yeah.
is phenomenal.
It's dope.
I give them a lot of credit for that. No shade there. However, they had no value hot dogs at opening day. They just didn't have them.
Like they weren't sold out. They just didn't have them to start
No,
with.
I went in when gates opened. I was one of the first through the doors
How
for
does
opening
that
day.
happen?
I went to a stand up in the 300 level. I was like, "Hey, can I get 2 junior dogs?" And they were like, we don't have any. If you there's some in another stand though." So I walked around. I went to another stand. I said, "Do you have junior dogs?" "We have the Mariner dogs, but we don't have any of the value dogs." And I'm just like, how do you not? And of course, they put the big display on our giant big screen and stuff, like value dogs, $4, da 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 da. No,
Awesome.
Yeah, tell
Thanks,
us
guys.
where. Like that seems just like a cash grab. Like, no, we're not doing this today because
Does this seem like a little bit of a cash
there's
grab?
45,000 people in the stadium where we don't have value dogs today. Sorry.
Also, dude, props to everyone who worked that day and like this whole week.
Yeah, and
Just
even at all the
goddamn.
bars around the area too, it gets wild down there. Yeah, props to everyone down there in the service industry working their asses off because it's about to be a crazy year.
Dealing with a bunch of Patricks who can't find a little fucking wiener just to snack on throughout the game.
I wanted my hot dogs, man.
I feel it, but also shout out to everybody else. Sorry you didn't get your dog.
Shout out to all the families that didn't get their dogs and
Yeah,
stuff.
no, I know.
Like,
I get it. But also all the workers who had to deal with it. It's not their fault. They didn't order the shipment of value dogs. You know, it's not their fault. So good for them for dealing with it.
anyways, love the team, love the Mariners, hate the ownership. Like
Yes.
Dipoto,
Yeah.
honestly.
Way
Love
more,
Dipoto.
way
Love
more
Dipoto.
respect for Dipoto and Hollander after this interview, especially. Way more shade on our boy John Stanton. Not our boy John Stanton. Fuck that guy. If he ends up firing Dipoto and Hollander and like moving on from and like keeping the ownership group together, but moving on and getting a new GM, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
The revolt is going to be massive.
Yeah, I am pissed already. What
Yeah.
he said is really fucked up, honestly.
And Dipoto gets a lot of shade, but the Stanton interview just proves more that he's working with all that he's given. He's doing
trying
what
so
he
hard.
can
Yeah.
with his hands essentially tied behind his back. He's trying, and he's done it. He's wheeled and dealed so many guys, and it's worked out for the most part. Not in every case, but I mean that's just baseball. Not every move is going to pan out.
I mean,
But-
Graveman for Toro, questionable.
Yeah.
I keep liking the guy more and more. He's proven
Me too.
himself worthy.
Especially when he comes out, he puts his foot in his mouth, says some stupid 54% shit, and then you like him 2 weeks later.
Yeah,
You're
but-
like, this guy's actually really good.
When you think about the whole thing, why is he out there putting his foot in his mouth? Because the owner isn't up there sitting next to him answering questions in public.
Yeah, why?
This is the first time we've heard from Stanton since after the year.
Couldn't agree
Maybe
more.
one. We didn't
I
even
mean-
hear from him after the year, except for that he's cutting payroll because of some dumb root
He
sports
shoves
bullshit.
Dipoto out
Fuck
there
that.
like he's the face of the organization.
He makes him eat his foot.
yeah.
I mean, foot in his mouth. Are we talking John Schneider or Dan Schneider?
Oh, got him. Nickelodeon's cooked, by the way.
Splat.
All right, guys. Well, that wraps up our first week of baseball. We've got an upcoming series going against Cleveland, and then we have a day off before we hit the road against the Brewers. Got a good season
The
ahead
who?
of us. The Brewers.
The Brewers.
The Brewers? Are we playing Cleveland?
Cleveland.
Brewers?
After Cleveland.
We're playing the Brewers?
Yeah.
Nice.
We have a homestand finish off the homestand against Cleveland, then a travel day, and then off to Milwaukee. So a little interleague matchup, and
Who
then
do we
on
play in Milwaukee?
the Brewers.
Okay.
Oh, the
Just
Brewers.
checking.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week to give you all the information, recap all the games, and hopefully we're back with more good news. Thank you all for listening. Tell your friends, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and go Mariners!